Cowboy fans, I want to know something right now. How your water tasting right about now? Yeah, because mine tasting pretty sparkly fresh right about now. And we fixing to talk about that thing in just a minute.
Two times on the beat, bitch.
What's good, Cowboy fans? It's your boy, Uncle Fred, back in the house, back in the saddle, one more again with a little bit of content. Yeah, I know your water tasting real good right about now. And the Cowboys get a 20-point beat down over the Eagles. 33-13. Wasn't even that close. I'm not even surprised. I would tell anybody that was listening, dude, we playing better than them. It wasn't sounding good. They weren't trying to hear me. They weren't trying to hear me. All right. It's like, oh man, y'all ain't played nobody. Fine. Get it. Totally get that. All right. But we're not responsible for where they place certain teams in our schedule. We're not responsible for that. It's not our fault that they placed the tougher, the easier teams, or the teams that are having problems, or teams or whatever, or teams that hadn't figured out their course of action, like say the Rams and maybe some of these other teams, maybe I would say even the Giants, because they've won a few games late, but and they were placed at the beginning and towards the middle of our schedule. All right. The Eagles, they played some games and they had some of their tougher games towards the earlier parts of the season, and they was able to win them games. They ain't taking nothing away from them. But there's something that has to be said for when you're playing a team that you're clearly better than, that you could go in there and put them down and make it where late in the game you can rest your starters. Keep them guys fresh, because we do know we got a 17-game season now, right? So Cowboys get a 20-point win, 33-13. I'm gonna say cry, Eagles cry. I ain't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no excuses. I ain't trying to hear none of the foolishness. I don't want to hear any of that. I'm not trying to hear none of that. I'm deflecting all of that stuff when it's coming, because it's like, no, I'm not hearing that. Okay, because y'all came into AT&T Stadium thinking, oh, okay, well, we they ain't played nobody good as us, so we should get them, and it was nothing like that. Never led, dominated from the get go. I know the Eagles moved the ball some, but we had a good philosophy against them and enabled us to jump out on them. And let me tell you what we did. So the Eagles, they won the toss, elected to defer, so we got the ball first. And so I was like, well, hopefully we don't do what we did when we got the ball first last game. The first game we went run, and then pass, and had to punt. And then they went like 75 yards, got a touchdown. It was 7-0 Eagles. This time, no, we go pass, run, pass, and we go 10 plays, 75 yards, and we get a touchdown. And it's culminated with a 13-yard pass. CeeDee Lamb, they called some sort of flag for something, and they picked it up. 7-0 Dallas. Eagles turned around and tried to do a little something. They moved the ball pretty good, and we was able to. Now, I've been trying to tell folks, anybody that would listen, Jalen Hurts turns the ball over. He may not throw interceptions, but a quarterback that runs You taking hits like running backs. Sometimes you lay that football down, and he fumbled that thing twice in the game up in Philly. Them things that we got strip sacked by uh, 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 my man Sam Williams. That ball rolled right back up under Jalen. Okay, DeAndre Swift fumbled on a drive, went right back to him. He was able to recover, and then late in the game on a fumble exchange, late in the game they fumbled. So all three fumbles they was able to recover. But if you live by the sword, the Bible even talks about if you live by the sword, you will find yourself dying by it. So if you're loosey goosey with the football, handling the football, and people make sure-handed tackles, you're gonna turn that thing over. So Jalen Hurts got a nice little run, little quarterback draw, and broke the first layer of defense, and he got punched. He was going down, punched out from behind, and we recovered that thing and went right down. And I think we got a field goal. It was 10-0. All right. And then if we look at the first half, and you look at my crawl here, we took control early. It was 10-0. Eagles came down after that and got a field goal, made it 10-3. And then we stopped them on a third down, and it was like 3rd and 6. And you got a team on the barrel when they start pulling out fake punts in their own territory on 4th and 6. And they pulled it out, and the punter made a pass to Zacchaeus, for about a 20-yard gain, first down. I said, okay, I got you. All right, fine. Bones Fossils was hot because he's all about the special teams, being on top of things, not getting fooled by stuff. Our special teams is part of our thing. And Bones Foster was one of the best in the business, and I know he was cooking on the sidelines that we got on that. And they went down, and we held them down inside the red zone, made them kick another field goal, made it 17-6. Actually, it was 17-3. Okay, and we had made a 12-play, 75-yard, 6-minute and 20-minute drive to go up 17-3. And of course now that touchdown was like a 1-yard run by Rico Dowdle that they said was short, and it was going to have to go for it on 4th down. But on a further review, they looked at it, and half his body was over the end zone under that pile of humanity, and it was 17-6. And 17-3. And then, of course, the Eagles, got their little field goal, and, made it 17-6 with about a minute and some change left in the half. And so they felt like, we cut it to 11, and Cowboys got the ball back with about a minute and some change left in the half. And they end up going 8 plays, 75 yards, and they get a touchdown. The big play on the game was a 39-yard pass to Brandon Cooks that got it down to the 1-yard line. And on 2nd down, the Cowboys ran what they call a pick play. They was trying to say that guys was illegally downfield or whatever, but it was at the 1-yard line. How much illegal? How many? You get 2 yards, right? Gallup went inside, and Lamb went outside, and they, got the Eagles defenders to kind of bump into each other. Gallup slid up inside that thing, touchdown, 24-6 halftime. And for me, all practical purposes, game over. We're up 18. And the way I was looking at that, as you look on the crawl, we took control early. We scored on our first 4 possessions, didn't punt, but one time the whole game. We scored on our first 4 possessions, didn't punt in the first half. We led 24-6, which is their largest deficit since like 1999 or something like that. And then we held on in the second half. And we got a 33-13 win. Now, I'm going to say something there. The philosophy that we got. Now, let me tell you how we did this thing, right? So, with the Eagles, because they play a style the way they play, you kind of got to they play a style that's really not like nobody else. I give them their dap. You know, they play a grinded out style. Where they, if they run it, and get 4 or 5 yards on first down, 2 or 3 yards on second down, they can always run that push play and get the first down. And I think a play in the first half, I thought they had a 3rd and 2. I thought they would have tried it, but they didn't. They went for like a pass play, and it got snuffed out, and they ended up having to kick a field goal. And I thought they would have tried it, but they didn't. And maybe they didn't think they could get 2 on it, but usually they get about 2 yards on that, but they didn't. So, but here's the thing: once we got up 17-3, look, keep everything in front of you. Play a decent box, but not a heavy box. Keep guys in pass coverage. Keep everything in front of you. Come up, makes physical, sound tackles. And if you do enough of them, maybe a 1 or 2 of them, you can make them guys turn it over. And they was able to get fumbles by Jalen Hurts in the first half, and in the second half, one by A.J. Brown. He caught a little pass under, for the first down, and Stephon Gilmore, who had a whale of a game. He's my defensive player of the game. Came up behind him, made a short tackle, and while he was going to the ground, punched that thing out. We recovered it. Didn't really get nothing out of that, but you know what? They was driving, and we was able to get that out of there. Then in the fourth quarter, I think, Devontae Smith had got a first down, ran him down from behind, made a short tackle, pulled the ball out, and we recovered that fumble as well. So, played safe, shell coverage, come up, don't let them get nothing cheap, don't let them get nothing behind you, come up, make sure physical tackles, make them play and use up clock. And once you up 2 or 3 scores, if they use the ball and use the clock and use 5-6 minutes on a drive, you done your job. Okay. Don't let them get a 35 or 40-yard play down the field. Keep everything in front of you. And I think that philosophy worked well. And I like the way that worked. So we didn't get, and the only bad thing about it, was in the third quarter, we end up giving up a fumble 6. Dak had a 3rd and 10. Now, I will admit, Eagles made some adjustments at halftime. Some of the plays that they was giving up in the first half, they kind of like covered some of that, got a little more pressure. And on one particular play, Fletcher Cox kind of pushed, I want to say it was Tyler Smith back into Dak and made him fumble. And it was picked up by Jalen Carter. He skirted down the sideline for a touchdown, made it 24-13. And then, of course, on a subsequent drive, we end up going 9 plays, 34 yards, taking up about 6 minutes of the clock, kicking a field goal, and that was instrumental because that made it a 2-touchdown game, right? And then, of course, on the next possession, we forced them into a 4th down and 9, like on the 35, 30, 34-yard line. And they could have went to Elliott to kick the field goal and make it a 27-16 game, but they went for it on 4th down. And Devontae Smith, had a pass underneath, and like I said, keep everything in front of you, funnel everything underneath. Stephon Gilmore came up, made the tackle about 5 yards short of the first down, and we took over on downs. And then from there, we won 11 plays, 44 yards, took up another 5 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock, kicked another field goal. And it's not as much that, hey, they didn't get touchdowns, but you notice those 2 drives took up 10 minutes on the clock, right? And you don't have to score. See, you got enough points right now to win it. You just got to play keep away. And I like to credit, the Cowboys coaching staff. Credit Mike McCarthy. Hats off and shouts out to Mike McCarthy. 2 days after an emergency appendectomy, you would think he would have took up to the coach's box to where he could sit down, because them stitches are still sore. He was probably fatigued and all that stuff. Stood on the sideline the whole 3 hours for the game, called a whale of a game. These are the things he was at Kellen Moore about last year. games we had in the bag, whether it had been against Jacksonville, whether it was against Green Bay, where Kellen Moore got pass happy and allowed Green Bay and Jacksonville to get back in the game. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And if it hadn't been for that fumble six, they would have not even had a touchdown. It would have been 30-6 or 33-6. Okay, wouldn't have ever even got a touchdown. But in the second half, ran the ball, kept the clock moving, kept the defense off, kept their offense off the field, and maintained the football. That's what he was talking about. I want to run the ball in it because we ran the ball more in the second half than we did in the first half, in my opinion. And we ran the ball for 138 yards. And them two drives right there, even though we got field goals, it took up almost the entire third quarter and part of the fourth quarter. And we was able to get field goals, and then the final drive, they was able to, go 9 plays, 55 yards, and take up another 5 minutes. So them 3 field goal drives took up 5:52, 5:45, and 5:30. So basically, those 3 drives took up an entire quarter and a little bit more. That's what he was talking about. Getting 2-3 yards on first down and throwing it underneath to, not trying to thread the needle on plays that low percentage plays where you could get, a pick or something like that, or an incomplete pass where you could, keep the clock stopped, get the clock stopped. There's a science to playing what they call complementary football. And I think, second half, we only got 9 points. The Eagles, man, they shut y'all down. No, they didn't. Cause we had like 9 plays, and 9 plays, 11 plays, and 9 plays. So it's like 29 plays, and it took up about 34, 44, which is like 78 and 56. Which is like 130 yards in like 15 minutes. So he took up a whole quarter on them 3 drives and played keep away. And you put points on the board. And the more points you score makes them one-dimensional. That allows you to play that shell coverage. Keep everything in front of you. If they want to run the ball, get them 6-7 yards. Clock is just moving. Clock's just click, tick, 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 tick. And we was able to win the game. So look, man, I've been trying to tell people, and look, I didn't think this was a great game by Dak Prescott. I think he played like I won't say a B- game. I think he missed some throws. I think there were some drops. Oh, CeeDee Lamb set up. Was it Slay or was it Bradbury on a stutter go? And that thing was right on, and the guy came late and tipped it away. But I think CD should have had that. That would have been like a 59-yard touchdown. I think that was one that was a close one that we could have got. You know. But didn't give up an offensive touchdown. Stars of the game, like I said, I didn't even think Dak played one of his better games. I think it was like a B- game. He was 24, 39, 271, 2 touchdowns, no interception. Did have a fumble 6. And I think the defensive guy will be Stephon Gilmore. 9 tackles, and he forced a key fumble in the third quarter, which Eagles were driving. And I think he played good sticky defense on AJ Brown. He's covered AJ Brown real well with his technique. And it's just a lot of tricks that Stephon Gilmore knows that he's just not falling for with AJ Brown. AJ Brown's a bad boy now. Let's not get it twisted like he's a bum. No, AJ Brown is a great, but Stephon Gilmore is a future Hall of Famer. Maybe just slightly on the downside of his career, but still plenty good enough to play that number 2 corner and play it well. And he did well tonight. And Bland, played pretty well. I think Devontae Smith ended up with that's who he was, playing most of the time. He was playing Devontae Smith, and I think Devontae Smith ended up with five catches for 73 yards, including a 30-yarder. AJ Brown was held for 9 for 94, which is like 9 yards. I mean, it's like a lot of underneath stuff. His longest was 24, but so if you take the 24 off of that, he got 8 for like 70 yards. You know, a lot of 7 and 8 yard passes, right? Um, so Jalen Hurts was 18 of 27 for only 197 yards, no touchdowns, sacked one time for 7 yards. He was under quite a bit of pressure, and he was forced to make some tight window throws into a lot of heavy defensive coverage. Now, I'm going to tell you the one he made to Devontae Smith, that probably could have been a touchdown. He got away with one there because I think Gilmore was kind of trailing. Ball was just outside the hands of, I think he might have been in trouble keeping his feet in bounds, but that ball just barely glanced off the hands of Devontae Smith. So we kind of got away with one there. So, and on special teams, I got to go with Butter. That's what they call him, Butter Aubrey. I think it was 4 for 4 on field goals. I think he kicked and connected with in the first half of 59 and 60, and then I think 44 and 50. So he's 4 for 4. He's 30 for 30 on the season. I think he's missed 3 extra points. That will be the only thing keeping him from a perfect season. And I'll stand by what I said early in the season. Had some arguments with some people. I said, right now, I think he's the best kicker in the game. Oh, I still don't know. I said, no, right now, best kicker in the game because the dude ain't missed a field goal. Okay, 30 for 30. Okay, and he's made, 2 or 3 55 or plus yarders, a 60-yarder and a 58-yarder, and a 58, 59, and I think a 58-yarder and a couple of 50s. And he right now, I think he's the best kicker in the game right now, performing right now. Okay, historical. No, I'm gonna go with my man Justin Tucker, probably the best kicker I've seen other than Vinatieri and one of them guys. But in terms of length, strength, and the accuracy, I would go with Justin Tucker. But right now, Brandon Aubrey, best kicker in the game. I don't care what nobody say. And then of course, we got some concerns. Uh, and I got to give a shout out to Michael Gallup. 3 catches, 48 yards, a touchdown. Had a big time 39-yard catch late in the game, which, when the Cowboys was kind of like, oh, they're going to sit on it. No, they set him up, and Gallup got behind the defense and completed a 39-yard, kept his feet down. Very good completion. I think he had about 5 targets and caught 3. And on the defense, we forced 3 turnovers. Tried to tell y'all if you can't live by fumbling and recovering the fumble. And no, eventually them fumbles ain't gonna bounce your way. And I've been trying to tell people. CeeDee Lamb, 6 catches, 71 yards, touchdown, including a 26-yarder. Jake Ferguson, my man Jake, 5 catches, 72 yards, including a 32-yarder. Including a 15-yarder where he jumped over the defense when they tried to go low. He went high, 250-pound tight end jumping over linebackers and safeties. That's what I'm talking about. Jake's going to be a star. Talking to my son about him earlier today. Oh, man, he's a jag. He's just a guy. I'm like, okay, keep thinking that. And then right after that, you heard Chris Collinsworth saying, we might have a star in the making. And I looked at him, and he's like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. Because people that say that stuff ain't watching the games, people. They're not watching the games. They're going by narratives. They're allowing those folks on those 3 and those 4-letter networks to form their opinions. It's like these people saying Dak Prescott not playing. Oh, he's gonna nut up on you. He's gonna do what, Bob? What? Because he's done it before? What does that mean? Now, how's he playing right now? Well, he got beat earlier by the 49ers. Yeah, and the offense was not playing what they're playing right now. Look at the motion that we're playing with right now. Okay, if you hadn't been watching the Cowboys, you would not know that we're not playing offense nowhere near what we were playing the first 6 games of the season when we were playing it safe, running the ball, throwing everything underneath, and not running no motion. And so teams start choking up on those pass plays. We wasn't running no rub routes, none of that stuff, no motion. Guys wasn't lining up in the backfield. None of that stuff was going on. And it wasn't until after that 49ers game when Dak said, we got humble. and we had to go scrap that offense. He went to Mike McCarthy and said, hey, man, you got to let me start becoming more creative. You got to let me start using my legs more, okay? And he started with that Chargers game, and Dak was the big bad Dak in that game, and ran for a touchdown in that game on his own read, and made a lot of clutch throws, and like that one to Brandon Cooks in the corner of the end zone down in the red zone. And from that game on, he's had 22 touchdowns and like 2 interceptions. 24 touchdowns right now because he had 2 tonight and 2 interceptions. Right now, your boy Dak Prescott is leading the league with 28 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Okay. And right now, if you would ask me right now, and it's a right now award, if we say right now, who is your MVP, I'd have to go. That's why I got on here Dak MV Prescott. He would be my MVP. Now, if you keep talking about, man, he's just not that guy. He's just not that guy. You not watching the game and you just hating at this point. And I hate it for you if you do that. I hate it for you. You're not noticing when guys make improvement. You're not understanding when guys get better coaching, and you get people that in your corner that because people aren't understanding. We had Kellen Moore for 4 years, 3 years, 4 years. Kellen Moore was a peer. Kellen Moore is 2 years older than Dak, and he's your offensive coordinator. What the heck can he give you that you don't already know? Now you put in there Mike McCarthy. He done seen it all and done it all, and won a Super Bowl. Then been on a coaching staff with Joe Montana on it. Where he was playing. We talking about in the mid to early '90s. He done seen it all, so he knows situational footballs. Can tell you all kind of things. Got stories he can tell you about some of the Hall of Fame quarterbacks that he's called plays for. Whether it's Brett Favre, whether it's Joe Montana, whether it's Aaron Rodgers. He can tell you that stuff. What can Kellen Moore tell you? So it's like he's playing Madden. I'm just gonna call play. I seen this on a Madden feed. I think this play will be good, and not understanding time, score, and positioning of the game. So Dak Prescott got good coaching, got some good fundamentals going, got his footwork together, and he's making throws, reading defenses. The here we go, getting the communication. He's not seen as many false starts and stuff as you've seen before. Dak Prescott's taking total control of this offense, and right now he's the MVP. And if you ain't seeing that right now, you ain't watching the games. You just hating. You just going on past narratives, and it's a whole new game. You can't go by what because like everybody was saying, oh man, Jalen's still doing this. I was like, why? Well, because he took them to a Super Bowl. That's last year. Dude got like, I don't know, 15 turnovers this year. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's still a great player and he's playing well, but part of playing quarterback is you got to take care of the football. 10 interceptions and like 6 fumbles. Okay? You got to say what you got to say, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. So the Cowboys get their win. Now, they got some concerns. As far as I'm concerned, they got some concerns. The thing I like the most, the concerns, first of all, the injuries. That injury to Jonathan Hankins, that's very troubling to me. He's our anchor in the middle of our defensive line. See him getting carted off the field, with an ankle. That's a serious injury because at this point in time, I'm not thinking that Mozzie Smith is ready for that responsibility or what Jonathan Hankins does in the center of that defense. But we're going to see. But injuries is part of the game. The Eagles had some guys to go down. I think one of their tackles went down. I can't think what his name is. And they had a couple of guys that went down. So, I mean, this game is a rough game. It's a physical game. And by, game 12, 13, 14, you're going to have guys that's going down. So that's part of it. But I tried to tell people wasn't listening to me. It's a thing when you don't get no separation in games and you having to play your guys the full games. I'm telling you, the game of attrition is going to catch up to the Eagles. I've been trying to tell people that, but they weren't listening. And Chris Collinsworth said as much, that, because they play a grinded kind of game. And you're not getting any separation, even against teams you're clearly superior to. And you're having to make guys play 75 plays on offense and not getting any breaks. That takes a toll. I ain't crazy. I know what I'm talking about. I ain't crazy. That's a toll. And then you can't tell me Jalen Hurts is not feeling the brunt of that. He's not getting to sit out in no parts of the game, and as much physical toll that he takes. Whereas Dak in the fourth quarter of a lot of games is sitting on the sideline with a baseball cap. You can't tell me that in the fourth quarter of some games and the season weighs on, he's not going to be fresher. Tyron Smith not going to be fresher. Zach Martin not going to be fresher. You're not going to tell me that. Okay? So, and then one other crucial thing, and we're going to close the video. The penalties. We had some offside penalties. We had a couple of holding calls. A couple of them I thought was bogus. I thought the personal foul clipping penalty on Tyler Biadasz was total BS. And that stopped the drive when we was inside the red zone. We ended up kicking a field goal on that drive anyway. But I thought that was total bogus because that was a personal foul. That's a 15-yard penalty. Kind of hard to overcome a 15-yard penalty like on second down. Then second down and 25. It's kind of hard to overcome, right? I thought that was bogus. Then he got a holding call 2 plays after that, which he was falling down, and it was sort of like a incidental thing or whatever. You had to call holding on that. I mean, yeah, he kind of had a hold of him, but Now, to be perfectly fair, there was a pass interference call in the first half. They gave the Slay on, I think, Michael Gallup that I thought was total BS. So, they had some calls too. I thought that they, probably got. But John Hussey, he called a lot of stuff on us I thought was timely, and it kept us from scoring touchdowns and we had to settle for field goals. But overall, the Eagles had like 10 penalties for 95 yards, which I think is probably a season high for them. Most games, they like 5 for 45, and the other team got 11 or 12. So we had 7 for 60, but it was when we got them and what they end up calling that kept us off the scoreboard. That, whatever, man. But even that as it was, 20-point win. I'm happy with the win. I'm not going with, hey, man, we're going to win the Super Bowl because we won that. No, I'm not saying that. But it just shows that we are a good team. We can beat good teams. And we can beat anybody that we're playing. Now, okay, the Eagles play good teams. Right. They played the Chiefs. How good the Chiefs look like right now? Okay. The Chiefs struggle to get 20 points every week. How good a win is that? Okay. Because you're not keeping us under 20. We ain't been under 20 points since, I don't know, what, the 49ers game? We're averaging like 35 points a game. I think we lead the league in scoring again. And, and so, but anyway, now I'm not saying that, but we can beat good teams. It's just, good teams haven't been on our schedule. Now we're going to have our hands full on next week. We got to go up to Buffalo. It's going to be, I don't know, -9 degrees maybe. I don't know. Snow on the ground, wind bristling, and we got to go and play. Buffalo's starting to play well. They had a week off, and they came in into Kansas City today and got a 20-17 win. Okay, again, Kansas City is what they scored, 17 points. Okay. So what that tells me, I know Mahomes is a great player. I know all that. But as great as he is, they're scuffling to score 17 to 20 points. And you think they're going to help us to 20 points? I don't think they will. I don't think they could. So what I'm trying to tell you, we could have went into Kansas City and won that game. Just like they went into Kansas City and won that game. What I saw tonight tells me we could do that. I wasn't surprised by what I saw tonight. Not at all. I was not surprised at all by what I saw tonight. Okay? And I didn't even think we played that great of a game. I think we played a B- game. Okay, we missed some throws. Terrence Steele got beat on a couple things and caused some sacks that he's better than. But no, Hassan Reddick is he's one. I think he had 11 sacks on the season. And a shout out to Michael Parsons. Him and Reggie White, only players in the NFL history in the first 3 years of their career, had 3 straight 12-sack seasons. He had 1 sack today. We only got 1 sack on Jalen. We forced him to a lot of early throw, but 1 sack for 7 yards. But I didn't put him on the crawl because he only got 1 sack. We only got 1 sack. But Michael was important. I think he got held a couple of times that they didn't call, but whatever. But it just lets me know we can play good teams. We are good enough to play good teams. Okay? We play good teams. We can beat good teams. Okay? Now, what does that mean next week? Don't mean a daggum thing. We got to go into Buffalo next week, do the same thing. We got to control the game. We got to control the elements. And and Josh Allen is being Josh Allen again. So and of course they're probably gonna be favored, And so we're gonna see what happens. But all I'm gonna say today, as I close this video, water tasting real good right about now. Cowboys are 10-3 temporarily right now. We're in first place in our division. Eagles have lost back-to-back games. They're not looking good right now. Even the announcers were saying that they look a little off. Their game plan's a little off. They're not running the ball like they want to, like they need to. They're making Jalen Hurts throw the ball more than he should. And that's kind of like not the way the Eagles play. That puts them in a situation where it kind of limits them because they have to play where they run the ball enough and then they get you loading the box, then they get them big plays over the top. And if they're not running the ball effectively and not attempting to run the ball effectively and just banking on Jalen Hurts to make some pinpoint throws all game, which he's capable of doing, but you asking a lot of them to do that, okay? And when you can just play shell coverage like we did and just make them take up a lot of time and keep everything in front of you, make them take 9, 10, 12, 15 play drives and take up 8, 9 minutes on the clock. And that's the way we made them play. And we was able to win. So, but that's all I got, man. Cowboys get a big win. A win where I didn't think we played that well. I thought we played a B-, C+ game. Still had a 20-point win. Still didn't give up an offensive touchdown. And like I said before, the Eagles lay the ball down. They play a lot. They play a lot of that. And eventually that comes back to bite you. And it came back to bite them tonight. And our offense, had a shade on the 400 yards. I think 394. We had 24 first downs. And ran the ball for 138. And I think that was the way we need to win. And we got the win. So just checking and making sure nobody's in none of the chats. Let me see anything. Here goes Teflon Breed. What's good, Uncle Fred? Everything good, Teflon Breed. Everything good, man. Everything good. Water tasting real good, my man. Shoot, man. This water feel like it came right out of the Garden of Eden. That's how good this water tasting right about now, right? So yeah, everything good, Teflon Breed. It's all good. What you say? You got Eagle fans talking about they shot themselves in the foot. I'm like, nah, Cowboys shot y'all in the foot. Yeah. We was holding the gun. Y'all wasn't holding it. We was holding the gun, right? I didn't get an offensive touchdown, man. Yeah, you laid the ball down, but y'all laid the ball down a lot. It's not like, because that was our first fumble in I don't know, 8 weeks. I can't remember the last time we had a fumble. We don't lay the ball down. We don't turn the ball over. Okay? So that's out of character for us. The Eagles turn the ball over a lot. But they've been able to get back on them, But if you do that enough times, you play Russian roulette enough, you spin that chamber enough times, eventually that bullet's in the chamber when you pull the trigger. That's all I got to say. We don't turn the ball over. I can't remember the last time we had a fumble. I really can't. Uh, I think we had a couple fumbles against the Giants early in the game. I think Tony Pollard fumbled. He fumbled against the 49ers. I think that might be the last time we had a fumble. So that's not characteristic. That's not part of our DNA. Okay. Dak got a pressure tonight, got a fumble, and was able to pick it up and return for a touchdown. Shouts out to them for turning that into points. But if it hadn't been for that, y'all wouldn't have had no points. Y'all would have had 2 field goals. Okay. So I'm not trying to hear none of that foolishness. Uh, you know, now I'm not one of these Cowboy fans that just because we did that, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. No, this is a process. We got to still continue to put together good tape. Got to put together good wins. We got to still practice good habits. We still gotta, we can't, get big headed. We can't get ahead of ourselves. We can't think that we done arrived. We can't get none of that stuff. Okay. And I'm looking for guys like Dak. I'm looking for guys like Brandon Cooks and guys like Stephon Gilmore, guys that have been on winning teams and been to Super Bowls and understand what it takes to get these young guys, to understand, look, we still got to prepare the same way. We still got to, attack practice the same way. And, we still got to compete and we still got to execute. It's not getting no easier because we got to play Buffalo next week. We got to go to Miami the week after that. We got the ring ceremony for Jimmy Johnson on New Year's Eve with the Detroit Lions. So it don't get no easier. Okay, so these next 3 games gonna be critical. But I just wanted that narrative knocked out the box that, they can't beat good teams. They ain't beat good teams. They can't beat good teams. Look, man, against the Eagles, I tried to tell people the Eagles defense really wasn't. I mean, it can be good. They got good personnel, but they hadn't been playing that well. We were 9-16 on 3rd down. Okay, only punted 1 time, entire game. Okay, they got 6 straight touchdowns scored on them last week by the 49ers. Okay, their defense got some holes in it, and we exploited them. Okay, so I'm not trying to hear nothing Eagle fans talking about or anybody's trying to make it look like, we didn't do nothing, we didn't play. Oh man, they ain't hearing that. You ain't watched the game. You just hating at this point. But listen, Cowboys get a win. We still got some bigger fish to fry, ready the balance of the season. And I'm hoping and praying we up to the challenge. But I'm trying to see if any more in the chats. I'm not seeing any. So I'm going to go ahead and end this right now. But water tasting good. Cowboys get a dub. We 10-3, tied for the best record in the league right now. And feels good, man. Feels good. We got to keep it up, though. We got to keep it up. So if that's nothing else, I'm just going to tell you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. That's it from the desk of Uncle Fred. Once again, Cowboys, take control early, hold on late, win 33-13 over the Eagles. We 10-3. And we're going to see what the rest of the season is like. And we'll catch you guys in the next video.